Hi guys, welcome to Origin. Before I make my point, I want to just go briefly through the Thunderfoot Dawahfilms drama context. Around about 4 minutes 45 into the video South Park vs Islam, Thunderfoot says, "Your continued existence is entirely at the discretion and goodwill of the giant." Now this is the sleeping giant that Thunderfoot referred to as being awakened if Islam posed any significant threat to modern society. Now Dawahfilms then said if they try to awaken this giant and it's hostile to any Muslim or non-Muslim, then as mandated in the Quran they would have the right to self-defense, and that self-defense would involve death. Now Thunderfoot's response was then to take what Dawahfilms said and twist it into the form of a death threat from a moderate Muslim. Now I need you to understand just how serious this really is. And of course many of you will already know, but I just need to make this crystal clear. What Thunderfoot has done, Thunderfoot, you know, the champion of reason on YouTube, is he has quote-mined Dawahfilms. Alright, this guy, I don't know how you pronounce his name, but I'll make the username very clear. There we go. Posted a video called Thunderfoot vs Dawahfilms Death Threats. As you can see, he's showing Thunderfoot's video Death Threats from Moderate Muslims here. The time of the video, now I can't make it out, it's either 2 minutes 10 or 2 minutes 19. Probably the latter, but either way will make my point. Now I want you to contrast what you've just seen, the video length, with what's on Thunderfoot's actual channel right now. Same video, Death Threats from Moderate Muslims, 2 minutes 48. Now, what's missing from the 2 minutes 10 or 2 minutes 19 version is the part where Dawahfilms talks about Thunderfoot if you try to awaken the sleeping giant. Now that's a very essential piece of context, because without that, the video does actually read like a death threat. But with that part, if you look carefully at the context and what he actually said in the video, then he's not making a death threat. He's saying that if his interpretation of Thunderfoot's video was correct, which was that he was advocating genocide against Islam, then he would be willing to act in self-defense. And the reason why this gives people room to argue that Thunderfoot didn't quote-mine Dawahfilms is that in this 2 minutes 48 version the context is there. But this only makes the problem even more worrying, because the fact that he's added that context and still, you know, presents it in the form of a death threat from a moderate Muslim, then he's deliberately misrepresenting what Dawahfilms said. There's no question of this being an accident anymore. It's definitely deliberate. Now here's the point I want to make. Thunderfoot has an audience of roughly 90,000 people. I don't know what the demographics are for that audience, but many people in that audience will be easily influenced. I've talked many times before about the idea of drones. And I know for a fact that there are many Thunderfoot drones. The way that this video might read to such an impressionable person is that moderate Muslims are among the extremists. They're willing to make death threats against people who disagree with them. And that's an incredibly serious allegation. It's not true. You know, the more rational of us know that. And if he really is the promoter of reason and the champion of reason here on YouTube, then this cannot go unaddressed. He must acknowledge this. And today Thunderfoot has now uploaded a video called Islam Fail, in which he demonstrates how his pinky is more powerful than Allah and the billions of Muslims that pray to him. And I think a lot of us were hoping that he would clarify things in his next video, and that doesn't seem to have happened. He didn't make any mention whatsoever of moderate Muslims. He just seems to be making this blanket attack against Islam in general. The YouTube user Symbolic then made a video suggesting that we should unsubscribe to Thunderfoot. and I saw a video by Rosebush that essentially seconded that idea, but disagreed with the point that if you were still subscribed to him, then you condone genocide, and I completely agree with Rosebush in that regard. There's a fine line between intolerance of the extremist acts of some of the most hardcore Muslims and outright Islamophobia. And Thunderfoot is fast approaching the side of outright Islamophobia. I've had disagreements with Thunderfoot in the past. I've disagreed with him on the pluralism issue. I've massively disagreed with him on the education issue. But this is a bit more serious. I know that a lot of people have already lost all respect for Thunderfoot, and that happened a long time ago. But for me, this is really the final straw. Thunderfoot needs to make his acknowledgement, or this is the end. Now finally, I want to give some advice to people who are in the same boat as Symbolic and Rosebush, and of course myself. And saying this, I'm going to come off as a complete hypocrite because of this video. But this is my final video on the matter ever, and I really do need to make this point. If you really want to destroy Thunderfoot's popularity and credibility and integrity and whatever else, then yes, unsubscribe from him. But at the same time, you have to also be silent with, concerning anything he does. You can't ever make a video about anything he's said or done. You have to completely ignore it. And of course, now you'll see where the hypocrisy lies. This entire video is a video about Thunderfoot. But of course, like I said, all of this needs to be said. So to sum up, disregarding the opinions of people who aren't conventionally qualified, possible Islamophobia, and deliberate misrepresentation of what Dawahfilms said. Here is my ultimatum. Thunderfoot, acknowledge and apologise for everything I just mentioned, or lose my subscription. Now, of course, people are going to say, why should he care about my subscription specifically? Well, of course he shouldn't. What's one guy, yeah? But I'm not alone. That's been made abundantly clear. And if you agree with me, make your point by unsubscribing as well. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.